Mathematical process walks hand in hand with data. Raw data can look overwhelming or confusing without a way to visualize it for easy, accessible interpretation. A good chart can help communicate data and make presentations in the classroom memorable and fun. This year, for 4th grade, we will be using graphs and charts in different classes to support this math skill, because math isn't the only place where processing data happens. We will use it in math, of course, but also icebreaker activities, sciences, and even PE. Charts and graphs are used to inform, compare, organize, reveal relationships, and explore subjects. The 4 examples we will talk about are bar charts, pie charts, line charts, and scatter plots. Bar charts are a great place to start. They are straightforward and easy to read. We use bar charts to compare a small number of data sets to measure the difference in quantity or size. Sometimes we like to play a game called This or That in class to discuss preference for one thing or another. One time we formed a small group to pick fruit between strawberry and mango. The first group of 5 students polled the results of each of their preferences and found that 2 of them liked strawberries best, while the other 3 preferred mangoes. After the first poll, the 5 students in that group were told that they would be asking their classmates the same question, and they were prompted to guess what the results would be for half of the class and the whole class. The group decided that the rest of the class would probably feel the same as they did. So they projected the next 5 students would answer with 2 liking strawberries and 3 liking mangoes, followed by the same ratio with the remaining 10 students in the class. What happened next was the opposite of what they expected. 4 students said they preferred strawberries and only 1 liked mangoes best. However, after polling the whole class, a total of 8 students picked strawberries and 12 picked mangoes. So their final projection was exactly right, because 2 to 3 is the equivalent to 8 to 12. Next, we will look at pie charts. Pie charts are used when there are relatively few data sets that are parts of a whole. They are a little bit more difficult to read, but they are useful as an option of comparing percentages of a larger group. In our school, we have a reward system for when students are outside of their own classroom. When a teacher or faculty member notices a well-behaved class lined up properly and quietly in the hallway, they will write up a class compliment card. When our class gets 10 of these, we earn a reward. To illustrate pie charts, we will look at our class discussion to pick out the reward for earning these fabulous compliments. We polled the whole class with 5 possible rewards: a class party, extra recess, a dress-up day, a virtual field trip, and show and tell. The resulting data found that the majority of the class, 40% or 8 students, preferred the class party. There were 5 students that wanted extra recess, 4 that wanted a dress-up day, 2 for the virtual field trip, and 1 picking show and tell. In the end, the class wanted to find a way to include as many of their classmates' wishes in the reward. Having the data shown in pie chart format helped them see how their wishes fit together. Seeing the difference as parts of the whole group provided a great start for a class discussion. Line charts are next. Line charts put the data in a fixed, consistent place where we can see how it changes. In this case, we explored the solar system as part of a science unit, and the class used a line chart to look at how the distance from the sun affects the average temperature. After looking at resources from NASA, the class was able to see how far away every planet is, as well as how hot or cold each planet gets. In 4th grade science, we aren't really looking at space too deeply, but by using the line graph in the way that we did, the students were able to see the extreme distance and the extreme conditions as they committed our neighboring planets to memory. They were also able to see how the trend was inconsistent for Venus, the hottest planet, as we looked at what makes each planet unique. The last type of chart we will examine is the scatter plot. Scatter plots can show relationships between factors. Where some data is less consistent than what we would call a trend, Scatter plots help us visualize the raw data with less skewing from other graphing methods. The first scatter plot shows the amount of sleep humans need to rejuvenate and grow. This scatter plot does show a trend, but by varying the dot size depending on the range of sleep that is recommended, students were able to discuss how it is okay to sleep a little more or a little less while they're young, as long as they meet the minimum requirement. For instance, 10-year-old fourth graders need 9 to 12 hours of sleep, so their dot is bigger than a senior's, who only needs 7 to 8 hours of sleep per day. Hopefully, this will mean that the whole class will come in fully rested more often. The second scatter plot shows the amount of calories humans typically need each day. The results were different based on age, sex, and activity level. The size of the dots in this chart reflect the difference between a low activity level and a high one, and the blue dots represent males while the pink represent females. The students were able to determine what a healthy amount of caloric intake is for themselves, in a general sense, and noticed that boys particularly need a lot of calories, which made many of them quite happy during snack time. Now to review the 4 types of charts and graphs we examined. The bar chart is the easiest method of visualizing data with the goal of comparing totals. A simple class poll works really well for bar charts. When there's only one value that is being measured, bar charts are the go-to. Pie charts are good for comparing parts of a whole. Our class was able to compare their opinions while seeing them as a way to include others. Line charts show change really well, and as long as there are relatively few data sets that are being examined and a constant value to measure them off of, they are an effective and versatile visualization tool. The last chart type we looked at, scatter plots, help visualize broad data sets where trends might be less smooth. The scatter plot we used in PE helped the class become familiar with how the body has needs that change over time and other factors. Thank you for joining us in this presentation. We will continue to use visualization tools in our class to organize our thoughts and find ways to inform our opinions, compare different subjects, reveal relationships, and explore the questions that come from the new perspectives.